This is Providence Television International, the toast of today's television viewers. Don't be left out.
A wonderful morning to you and welcome to the newspaper analysis segment on the Morning Drive, Providence Television International, the game changer. My name is Ugbebo Ikekwa and we'll be in the studio is Dr. Emmanuel Egariva. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the game changer. We're happy to have you with us. Thank you.
And so we'll be moving straight to the front page of the papers. This morning we'll be starting off with the leadership newspaper where we have Jigawa tanker explosion. 109 victims given mass burial, 54 hospitalized. Federal government orders immediate probe.
What a disaster. First of all, we must express our condolence to the families of the victims, the families and their loved ones. Excruciating death, really. Excruciating. Burnt beyond recognition. That's usually what happens. But I think we are going to discuss this in details.
Exactly.
But as a television station, we express our deep condolence to the families, as I've said, and we hope that such occurrences will be limited on our roads. They are getting too frequent. Exactly. Too frequent.
Exactly.
I mean, it's terrible. I mean, deaths that are totally avoidable.
Totally avoidable.
Yes, that's what we're going through in this country, but we'll come to that.
Yes, exactly.
And I think I support the idea of the federal government setting up a probe into this. Why do we have this kind of accidents on our roads on a regular basis?
During the interview segment, I know that you have quite some points as regards, which are very, very obvious to the reasons why we have these explosions. But then we won't actually dwell on that for now. We'll move straight to the Vanguard newspaper, front page, where we have federal government, Labour agree on how to crash transport fares and food prices.
Well, I hope they do, and I hope that this meeting was not deadlocked after all. I hope they do, because at the end of the day, that's what will give everybody some kind of relief. But at the end of the day, what do Nigerians want? They want a dip, a very strong dip in the price of fuel. It should go down, really, quite considerably. That's what people will be happy about, not talks. They want more of action. All right, and Labour must play its role creditably. You concede a few things, but you concede in favor of the people. Yes, I think that is important.
Your last statement brings us to the front page of the Punch newspaper. Fuel price hike. Reps warn of unrest as federal government Labour meeting deadlocked.
Well, it has always been my position that the House of Reps, they, as a body, I think it's apparently more vibrant than the Senate. Yeah, because that's where all the action is. They are younger, for instance, and that's why, for instance, they are talking this way. I think they are closer to the people, because apparently they are more in number. So they should know what the people are feeling. But they should be in synergy with the Senate. That's what makes up the National Assembly, right? The upper chamber and the lower chamber. And I'm happy about what they have said. Let's look at that headline again.
Front page of the Punch
newspapers. Reps warn of unrest. So it probably means that they are beginning to have some inkling. They're beginning to suspect that there might be some kind of unrest. Yeah, and that is good. I mean, they shouldn't stop there. They should go ahead and discuss with the federal government the nuances of all of this and the dangers involved if we don't give listening ears to the agitations of the people, all right? Because obviously they are closer to the people than the senators. That is obvious. So I believe that, yes, there must be a parley of some sort between the House of Reps and the government. At the end of the day, people should be happier for it, particularly now that the Christmas season is here with us. We cannot carry this kind of problem into Christmas. To get worse, and it might get worse, and people might be restive. That's what they are afraid of, yes, because they will have to travel to their home bases. They have to travel to their constituencies. And what are they going to be telling their constituents? I think they're quite skeptical of that.
All right. We'll move to the front page of the Daily Trust newspapers, where we have Senate investigates alleged plot to impeach Akpabio. We'll tie this story to the front page of the Tribune newspapers, where Akpabio himself is coming out to say it's all fake news, debunks impeachment rumor.
Well, whether it is fake or not, the reality on the ground is such that they should be wary. And he should be wary, actually, because he has made a lot of pronouncements lately that have not gone down well with his fellow senators. I mean, Undume, for instance, you remember,
Yes.
they've been talking about what's going on in the polity, and the Senate president is the head of the second arm of government, the legislature, in his position as the Senate president. So he must be very careful about his pronouncements. I don't think that all the senators are in sync with him. That is obvious. Yesterday we go through a headline that said, it was a screaming headline actually, that said uproar in the Senate, all right? So, but that is what it is. For a leadership that is outside the realm of the feelings of the people, there's cause for concern, obviously. And they've not come out to deny, that is very important, that there was no presence of DSS within the precincts of the National Assembly. Nobody has denied that, meaning that there were certain moves. But this is fake news. Yes, I think it's an unfolding drama. We'll get to know the truth in the next couple of days or more. And at the end of the day, well, we have had Senate presidents who have been impeached. Yes. The last many years. It won't be the last. It won't be the first either. So we are just watching and waiting.
All right. While watching and waiting, we'll move down to the Daily Independent newspapers. Federal government to review fuel transportation safety protocols across states.
Are there riders to that?
No rider to that effect.
Yes, but, well, okay, we've dwelled so much on this. Maybe the least we can say is that, yes, government should stick to its promises as far as this is concerned. But maybe you can do well to go through that again so that the viewers will understand.
Federal government to review fuel transportation safety protocols across states.
Whatever that means, I don't know.
Are we talking about trying to build separate?
Well, I don't know. Maybe the body of the story will have determined that, but we're not going to the story now. So we better rest that for a while until we have further development on it. Yes.
All right, that's still on the front page of the Daily Independent newspapers. Agbakoba writes, National Assembly says EFCC is an unlawful organization.
Agbakoba is a senior advocate.
Exactly.
He's a very senior lawyer. And he has a pedigree of the legal profession. His father was a judge. Right. So, but that's beside the point. Unlawful. I don't know, but it's an act was established by an act of parliament. If you say unlawful, maybe from two sides. Are they doing unlawful things? Or was it illegally set up, unlawfully set up? That's left for him to explain, probably. But I do know for sure that in the recent past, a lot of people have started to lose interest and trust in the EFCC as a body and as an institution. I mean, for instance, what has happened to the former Kogi State governor's case? Okay. That one is still hanging. There's so many hanging like that. And that's what I've always said, from my own personal point of view, that people who are appointed to such positions should not be picked just by the president. All right. What happens now is you pick up somebody and then you introduce him. You say you should go through the crucible of the National Assembly. Some of them do not even get grilled. They just go there, take a bow, and they leave. All right. But we've had incessant reports about the EFCC, for instance. And look at the history of EFCC. Most of them that have passed through the office, at the end of the day, they get bruised. They really get bruised. So that means something is fundamentally wrong with that organization. But you see, it's an institution, and I've often said that a head of such an institution should be put there on the platform of contributions from eminent Nigerians. It shouldn't be the exclusive preserve of the president. The president picks somebody there, and in any case, because it's an appointee of government, the president or some higher-ups can do no wrong. Yes. Remember even the case of Ribadu, what happened to him, and many down the line. They get bruised, really terribly bruised at the end of their tenure. So, but we must have a situation where there are contributions from eminent Nigerians as to the suitability of the person who is being, whose name is being forwarded to the National Assembly for approval. So that must be the situation. So, but I think we'll follow up this story really to know exactly what Agbakoba means
by
being an unlawful.
We'll definitely do that.
It must trend. Yes,
it would. Well, anyway, for some days now, individuals, there's been this outcry. Individuals are not really happy with the activities of the EFCC, especially with the cat and mouse game that seemed to be played out with the former governor, who was said to have come to the car park, and he claimed that he did not, that he wasn't seen.
That was a slur. It was a big slur on the image of the FCC. Big slur. I don't know how they're going to get out of it, but it's still simmering. It's still simmering. I mean, here was a situation where they said it was not in their custody, and yet the man was there. He even boasted that he came.
Exactly.
Yeah, he boasted that he came. He was within the precincts of EFCC. And suddenly we are hearing now that he's out of the country. Yes, the rumor mill. I mean, we don't depend on rumor, but that's what people are saying. So let's see how far that goes. Let's see if this will rub off negatively on the image of EFCC. So we are waiting and watching.
We've always talked about parallel. Just before we go, the EFCC, the ICPC, are they not doing about the same thing? Having too many organizations playing about the same role?
It does not just apply to these two organizations, many down the line. And I think that's the duty of the presidency. If they want to cut costs, for example, there are so many organizations that are doing virtually the same thing, particularly in the security sector, right? There are so many. I said the other day that we have so many uniformed people in this country, so many uniformed people. The police, for instance, can be merged with one of these organizations. Why not? It happens elsewhere around the world. So to cut costs, we must merge some of these things. Even it goes to ministries and parastatals. There are too many ministries. In a country where you're talking about 46 ministers down the line, it's not healthy for propriety, it's not healthy for probity, for example. And I think that, yes, we must take a second look at it. It's not, I mean, appointments are not just for the boys, okay, because that's what is coming to now. You have institutions that are, some are not even heard of at all. They are not heard of, and they are there. There is an organization called the Raw Materials Research Institute. Raw materials. What do they do? Even the research institutes. I can reel out names of research institutes. For 1 year, 2 years, you don't hear about research breakthroughs, and yet I think money is
definitely being
made available for all of this. We used to have, I think we still have the CRIN, Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria in Ibadan. Look at NIFOR here, rubber research. NIFOR is oil palm.
Oil, exactly.
But we have rubber research at Iyanoma. We expect breakthroughs from them at least once in a year. Once in a year, they should tell us what they are doing, because these are research organizations. You know, our money is pumped into these institutions, for example. We have them all over the country. What are they doing? So they must come to the table and tell Nigerians what they are doing. I expect that at least one breakthrough every year. They cannot be silent on their achievements, by the way. So that's the way it is.
All right, thank you so much. Well, this will come to the end of the newspaper analysis segment. Please stay tuned for the next segment.